environment. So virtual env, and I've been using Python 3, which should have the -m option if it's a late enough version of Python. Okay, and then when I look, then it's done the necessaries to set that environment up. It's only got the minimal stuff in it, so I have to populate it. So before I can populate it, I have to go into it. And I use a Linux command. It's called source. And what that does is basically, it runs code in your current shell without making a new shell. So for instance, I can look at what bin activate is. It's ASCII text. I can cat it. Bang dollar looks at uses the last argument of my previous command. And this is just a bash script. Activate is. Got some functions in it. Deactivate, which you may be familiar with, which is the opposite of activate. But once it defines that function, then it goes and sets some environment variables. And you want those to be in your current shell, not in some subshell, because normally if I just run it, if I were to forget the source and just say venv/bin/activate, well, it wouldn't work because it's not executable. But if I forced it to work by running it in bash, it would go ahead and do that, but then then bash would exit, and then I wouldn't have any of those settings that activate takes care of. So the source command is important in order to get done what you need done for activating your Python environment. So now I've got new things in my environment. My prompt has changed slightly, and I've got variables that Python needs in order to live in this kind of sandbox called venv. Now I can populate it with stuff I need, the packages that I need specifically. So that's where the pip install comes in. And I've already got a list of those packages. And so pip knows about lists like that. So there's my list. And so I can say pip install and then point to that list with the -r option. And then it goes and it installs packages, but not just anywhere. It installs them specifically under that venv environment. And as long as I'm, activated in that environment, then those are the packages that it's going to use. I'm sure I'm going over old ground for folks that have been using Python already, but just in case. Refreshers always help, right? So it's running through the install. Hopefully succeeding for everybody. And now I've got the environment created. I've got it populated with my packages. I'm in the environment, and now I can begin to focus on the database that I'm going to set up. And that's what the next set of commands are for, these Python commands I'm running here. And so because I'm in my environment, I can now say just Python, and I know that I've got Python 3 because that's what I used to set it up initially. So I can say Python and run my load schema. And what that does is actually create a little SQLite database right here and puts the table in it that I care about with its columns, and sets it up for me empty, but it's there. So then the seed command actually puts stuff in that database, and you can of course look at that. It's just a little Python script, and it calls a seed method in the task package. So with a little bit of looking around, I can remember where I put task, probably in the lib directory. Yeah, so lib says /task. As there's my seed method, and it just opens this seed.sql file and runs this SQL runs the SQL commands inside that file. So let's do it. Okay. Looks like nothing has happened, but it has. If you have SQLite on your system, you could actually look at that database. It's called development.sqlite3, and use a SQLite command called .schema, and you can see that this table is what's been created. And then you can use some pretty standard SQL commands, select star from tags, and oh, it didn't work. Interesting. Okay, that's something I need to look into. So what you should have seen is that those three commands got run and are now seen in the database. I think for your project, it doesn't matter if there aren't tags there already, because when you fire up your web app, you can put the tags in through the web app. So for instance, I'm now over here under bin/run flask web server.sh, which should work, and I allow connections, and I visit it at this address. Copy, paste, and there's my web server. And I can enter tags through the web interface. All good. All right. Back away for a few minutes. Yes, you're welcome. Back away for a few minutes and reconvene at about 10 o'clock. All right. How is everyone doing? Any collaboration accomplished? Any merges and pushes done? Yeah. Any trouble getting the website to go, or resolving merge conflicts? Nobody's having any trouble at all. That's awesome. That is really amazing.
It's still a little bit early on our side.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a little more time before we figure out if we're having trouble.
Sure. Okay.
For sure, it's gonna we need a little bit more.
So what point are you at about it? Just out of curiosity, since I've never run this exercise before. Just looking at the code.
So we got the server running, and we went through the process of merging one thing like all together, and now we're going to try and do them like separately at the same time.
Okay, excellent, very good. Okay, I did find out why my code wasn't working, so I will quickly. I'll show you a Git tool while I show you how I fixed it for about 5 minutes, and then I'll let you go back at it. So yeah, I ran the seed task, and it wasn't saving to the database. This isn't going to really affect you, like I said, but it's a chance to show a Git command called git cherry pick, which can come in handy later on, possibly for you. So let's see where ADOG puts us.
We can't see your screen, Chris.
Oh, thank you. Clearly, I only do this once every 3 months or so. Okay, so how's that? Good. So I had a bug, and I needed to fix it, and I did. So the bug was, I'll do a git show to show what the change was. For this particular SQLite adapter, I needed to do a commit after every command that I executed. So I was running all my commands, but it doesn't commit changes, apparently, unless I actually explicitly commit them. So I did, and it's just a one-liner, and I made the change and put it into Git. So now here's my new change. Suppose I want to say, you know what, I just want that one change in my other branch. Like, imagine there are a bunch of other stuff on master that you don't care about, but in your branch that you're working on, you think, oh, that would be a cool one to have, just that one commit. So instead of merging everything that you don't care about at the time, and getting confused, perhaps, you can just grab this one commit. So let's say I'm on say the style sheet. Let's check out. Let me check out my style sheet, or the style sheet branch. Okay. Check where I'm at. So now I'm here on style sheet, and I just want that one commit. Now, as it turns out, since there is only one commit on master, I could go ahead and do a merge, and that would be fine. But we're pretending there's a whole bunch more on master that's happened besides this one commit. So pretending that, I can say, okay, let me just grab this guy here, this commit D4279BF, and I can just take that one commit and use this command called cherry-pick. So git space cherry-pick, and give the commit that I want to cherry pick. And it basically grabs the commit and commits it on top of my branch. So let's look at what happened. So here I am, my new head, and that head now has got this commit, this SQLite adapter commit on top of my style sheet, you know, where I started with my style sheet branch. So there it is. That's cherry pick. It's a way to grab one, and there's options to grab a range of commits as well. But it basically takes those and replays those on top of your branch without having to do a full-fledged merge. You may end up having to merge some stuff anyway, because your commit may not, you know, you can, even a single commit can still collide with changes you've got on your branch. But it's a much more targeted way to get at just what you want to pull over and work with. You know, maybe somebody has fixed something that you care about, or committed it to master, and you just want to grab that one piece of change, and it makes maybe somehow makes your life easier on your branch as well, if you're running into the same problem. Okay. All right. I will. If there are no questions, I'll back away again. And should we reconvene at 11? Does that sound good? Or we'll say 11 unless somebody has a reason to go earlier. Very good.